Hello from Western New York. And this is what you might call Stump Hugelkultur. Or however it is you pronounce it. I mean, usual practice. Take a log, lay it down, have it dry out for a year or two. And then cover it in dirt, compost, mulch, and all that sort of stuff, and plant your plants alongside of or on top of, and as the log breaks down, you got plenty of organic material. Here, we got a stump, and okay, there might be a few things that need to be removed, because at one point someone did try to burn it, you know, not easy removing a stump. You know, there's a nice hollow cavity inside, probably from either burning or from rot, whichever. Maybe both. And, well, my aunt, she talked about planting some flowers, and, well, we didn't get her the hens and chickens she wanted, but we got a number of other beautiful flowers, you know, and including a brown-eyed Susan right here in the middle. Basically, right in the middle, you know, I got to make sure of potting soil, compost, gardening soil, and dehydrated cow manure. Although around the edges of it, I got was essentially a vermiculite-based potting soil. And basically the whole idea is that you got the flowers, which will hopefully detract from the stump. You know, remove the idea that you got this big old stump, and then and well, they'll you know, they'll kind of camouflage it, and then they'll eventually help with breaking it down, use up the nutrients as it rots and all that sort of stuff, and just be beautiful, really, just be beautiful. And might see about doing something with this vegetable, with this garden. I mean, don't know if we'll be moving it or what, but I do know that this thing needs to be weed whacked for sure. Well, the yellow raspberries are coming along. They're all kind of green at the moment. You know. So, 4th of July. Meaning that if I do any filming later, I might end up recording a whole lot of fireworks going off. Miniature roses are doing pretty good. Same with the wild one, although it did not make any flowers this year. I noticed. I'm probably going to need to get some string and tie up some of the vines, the lengths. Of course, here I got some grapes that I might want to think about cutting off on account of the fact that that's still kind of small to possibly bear them. Get some little toads. Lots of grapes seem to be doing fine. I'm not too disappointed that most of them don't have fruit, because let's face it, I mean, these ones on over here I put in last year, and these ones here around in here I just put in this year, so although I think it's possible this one here was a bit of an older one, which explains why there's so many of these grape clusters, although I think what I'm going to do is get my pruners and clip them off. And this is coming along nicely. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to tie it up, so I'm kind of leaving it for the moment. Most of my gooseberries are coming along nicely. As you can see, you know, they got some good reddish tinges on a few. This tray. That's pretty good. I'm gonna be getting a nice red on them. Gonna have to share some with my mom. These are the Pixwell variety. These two. So these ones right in here. Thought they'd be more of a green, but you know, they're pretty good. This is a Hinomake red. Real thorny and a little. It's a real thorny one. Nice and red. Okay. That one a little bit more tart. Toasted berries. You know, getting black and nice and black. Something to tell you about this particular currant. I probably tell you this is a black currant, but technically it's actually a clove currant, also known as golden currant, and a couple other things. Basically it's a black currant only because its coloration of it is black, but it's more closely related to the red currants. Yeah, I guess, well, but I think the main reason why it's allowed to be called a black currant is because the actual black currants, the Ribes nigerium, or something along the lines, you're not allowed to, in some places you're not allowed to grow those on account of them being an alternative host for pine rust blister, which has a very debilitating effect on pine trees, which in a place where, basically in areas where growing pine trees is important for the lumber trade, it can be very devastating for the local economy. So basically in fact there used to be a federal ban at one point in time that prohibited the growing of any ribes species, currants, gooseberries, and their assorted hybrids and cousins. And in fact there was programs where they were trying to exterminate them. But, you know, there's so many different species, and there's just so many that after a while I was like, forget it. And of course they find out that they can breed, that growers could breed varieties that are resistant to this rust and that sort of stuff. So they started, you know, eventually the federal ban got lifted, and then after a while the state bans in turn started getting lifted. And as a result, well, in 2004, New York lifted its own state ban on growing currants and gooseberries. There are still some states out there that prohibit the growth of currants and gooseberries, but a number of states that realize that it is the black currants that are the main alternative hosts, so they put laws on those ones. And this is, I think, a way to get around said laws, because it is technically more closely related to the red currant than it is to the black currant, despite having black colored fruit. And of course you got the honeyberries right in here. I mean, they don't have any fruit. Maybe next year I might have some. And hopefully I'll have some fruit on my red currants next year, and my black currants, and that sort of stuff. Wild roses over there. We'll have to see what happens to it next year. I mean, got some good growth on it. And we'll see what happens to the bleeding hearts next year too. Miniature roses doing pretty good. And of course the blueberries that I put in here are doing nicely. In fact, I might have a little bit of a treat. Right in here. Yes. Looks about right. Now that is delicious. Might wait a few more days on a few of the others, but that's my leaf. That's my first blueberry off of the ones that I put in last year and have grown. We'll see what next year brings. You know, I mean, especially as these ones are, of course these ones, I mean, this one's got a good old mess of them. They're probably all ripening at about the same time. This one here's got one. This one's got a couple. Although we'll see what happens to the sunshine bloom, because it's kind of rated for like zone 6 and below. Might have some on these ones. Let's see here. I've had a red raspberry. I've had red gooseberries. I've had a blueberry. Too bad I don't have any white currants. I would like to have some of those, you know. Be kind of symbolic, you know, red, white, and blue. Let's see how well. Okay, we got some flowers developing on a few of these. I think I got a red strawberry in here. Not quite ripe. My cousin's kid was over here yesterday. Shared a couple berries with her. You know, a couple of raspberries and a gooseberry. She had her first gooseberry. She said she liked it. You know, it wasn't like she spat it out or anything like that. Ow. Just either weed whacking or mowing the lawn. Gave me a little bit of a fright, I'll admit to that. That was a good size one. Might end up with some blackberries. That'll be good. Okay, let's just keep on talking. That way, if there is indeed a bear, it does not get too surprised by the fact that I'm talking. Get off of my front, right? Sumac's coming along. Choke cherry's doing pretty good. Hope the birds enjoy the berries on it. I hope these come back. That being said, I do have plans to buy a couple of smaller elderberries. You know, they only get about 6 feet tall. Kind of put right behind here. That way they can act as a sort of windbreak. That's my main reason for wanting to have some elderberries, because Don't know if I like the taste of them too much, but but you know, they kind of act as a nice shrub that'll just bush out. Well, this is Western New York, and if you live in the United States, I hope you have a nice 4th of July. Just try not to shoot off too many fireworks near your neighbors. They might not like having all of them being fired off right near their ears. Well, let's see here. You saw my aunt's flowers. You saw my plants. Oh, let's take a look at the gladiolas. And alright, a quick look at my mom's plants. You know, they're doing nice. Not too many issues. And these gladioluses are starting to pop up, I believe. That one was from previous batch. But I think the others are starting to pop up. Although the ones on the other end will take a few more, about another week or so, considering that I put them in last. Well, and I know that I guess I'm going to end up doing a little bit of trimming on some of my blueberries in the spring, but for now, everything's looking good. I can't complain too much. And hey, I had a blueberry. That's something. Well, this is Western New York. Subscribe if you like this. Post comments. Hit the like button. And all that sort of stuff. Okay? Goodbye.